Hello, it's Wednesday. Sorry for not posting a video last week, but my schedule got all messed up and I basically just forgot in the end. I've been painting things and dropping things on the floor, as is normal. And knocking things over, also normal. What have I been painting? I've been painting my Golden Demon entries and nothing else. They're too time consuming for me to be able to do much else at the moment. I'm still planning How to Thin Paints Part 2, by the way, for airbrush users. There were a few things that I needed to brush up myself on and make sure I wasn't, giving bad advice. But I'm kind of got the idea of this script sorted now, and it's on its way. So, what have I been painting? I have been using these 5 paints pretty much exclusively for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it's Raptors. It's the same old Raptors. So if you want to know what the paint colours I use are, it's these. That's bad and black. That's armour brown. Can be replaced with Rhinox hide, but I only really use this in the airbrush, so that's why it's an air paint. So what have we got? We've got I repainted a couple of these guys. So I've got these intercessors. So I've got my gunner. Now I repainted these because I last did the edge highlights on them back when my finger didn't have much sensation in it, and I kind of screwed up all the edge highlights, and I worked out that it would actually take me longer to fix all of the edge highlights than to just repaint all of the airbrush work and go back in and do the edge highlights properly with my head magnifier on and actually paying attention. Didn't have to repaint the arms. The arms came out fine because I did them at a different time, but the torsos turned out pretty naff the previous time. But as you can see now, they're all nice and crisp. Got a little bit of damage there because I couldn't be bothered to clean up those spots of black paint that I accidentally got on the model. So this is one of my intercessor specialists, the gunner specialist. He's got his helmet off, his head's just currently primed black, nothing interesting to see there. And I've done all of the airbrush work and the edge highlights and the black lining. And I've done this for all of the members of the kill team now. They're all roughly the same point. I've got a couple of guys who are slightly further along than the others, but they're all pretty much there. So I've got this guy. This guy's just a reloading guy. He might not show up at Golden Demon, but I was doing him at the same time. And if I don't get enough time to paint all the heads, this guy can quite happily have the arms off the gunner in his pose. And can still be a gunner, and I can stick a helmet on him, because this guy clearly has to not have a helmet on because he's got his helmet on his belt. But this guy, if necessary, I can just take his helmet and use this guy as one of the Golden Demon entries if I don't get enough time to paint all 5 of the heads that I need to do. And the last one was this guy, who was the comm specialist. This is a push fit model, so there's a few areas where I had to kind of paint in details that don't actually exist. For example, here on the inside of this leg, that line there, just here, that's not actually a carved in detail, a sculpted detail in this kit. It is on the inside of this leg over here, but it's not on this one. On this one it actually goes weird and kind of skews off in a strange direction, which doesn't match the rest of the Primaris armours. So I had to paint that in, and you can't tell. Really? I mean, you can tell a little bit. There's a little bit of shine coming off the bottom of that leg there, of the sculpted ones. But yeah, it's all coming out pretty good. To be honest, if any of them aren't going to make it into Golden Demon, it's probably the comms guy, based on the paint job so far. And I also started painting an Eliminator from Shadow Spear. These are really nice models. I love these. They're great. I've got 2 more that are airbrush painted up. I've had the airbrushing done, but I've only done the highlights on one because I'm only going to include one in the entry, if I include any at all. So head separate. These arms come off. I did the airbrushing work with him fully assembled so I could see where the actual visible areas were. And his cloak isn't actually glued on, because I can gap fill that after painting it, but I wanted to be able to get access to all of the areas. So yeah, these Eliminators are really nice models. I like them a lot. I'm looking forward to painting the other two. And they suit the Raptors perfectly, because Raptors are all about being stealthy and sniping. So I felt like I had to include one once the models came out. So that's what I've been working on. My goal for the end of today is to, at the very least, because I'm going to be working on my video game after doing this video, at the very least is to get all of the brown areas base coated with brine oxide, so all of the little straps. So I think I've only got to do that on these 4 guys to get the brown areas base coated with brine oxide, and then they're pretty much at the same level as the Reaver Sergeant, who's over here. And then I can do all of the leather at once, and I'm going to record doing the leather on... Ooh, who's got a good angle? Probably this guy. Yeah, I'll record the leather that I paint on this guy and put it up as a video later on, because I know a lot of people want to know how I paint leather, and while I've done it inside of other bigger videos, such as the Deathwatch video series and the Crimson Fists, I think I even do a quick, no, that's a dead quick leather one there, but the slightly more nicer leather, such as this one here, this brown leather, that one, that recipe is in the Deathwatch series, but I've never done it on its own, so I figure I may as well do that, and then you can see how I paint my leather on my Space Marines, and it'll be in a separate video. So that's pretty much it in terms of wargaming hobby. I have other hobbies, and I've been doing those to kind of take a break, because don't know if you've tried edge highlighting with 3 colours a bunch of Marines to competition standard while wearing a magnifier. It's intense work, and it can make it like, it's pretty boring, very boring, and I'm glad that it's over now because I'm more excited to do the rest of them. But I was really just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. It was so time consuming. So I did some other things that needed doing. So for example, I don't know if this will fit on camera, painted this. I didn't make this. This is a resin cast off Etsy. We do cosplay in our house. And yeah, we needed a super crown. So yes, I painted this up. It's just some gold paint. It's dead simple paint job with a nice gloss coat on it at the end to protect everything. So yeah, that was fun. Really, 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 really simple. The eyes are hand painted, and so are the big white spots. So, and at cosplay photo distances, which is really far away, this will take up like barely a % of the screen. You won't, on photos you won't notice it, but it'll look fine. So yeah, I did that. That's a thing. And I also modded my Game Boy, which is, yeah, Tetris. Boop, boop, boop. So I put a backlight in this. The case was fine. Didn't have to bleach the case. It's actually quite a nice colour. And I put a backlight mod in and a bivert chip. If you know anything about modding Game Boys, you know what that involves. A little bit of soldering, which was fun. I haven't done that in years. And yeah, came out quite nice. There were a few bits, a few hairy moments where I had a weird problem where the screen would fade away But it turned out I was just really bad at soldering and hadn't soldered things in correctly. But yeah, I modded my Game Boy to have a backlight and put a new glass screen in. There you go, you can see my lighting setup there. I'm surprised you can't see the back of my phone's camera. Actually, no, I think you can. I think you can see my phone case right there. But yeah, I modded my Game Boy. Did some electronics, which is also fun. It seems like almost everything that I want to do as a hobby involves some kind of precision work. The head magnifier came in really handy for actually doing my electronics. I was dead glad I had that, because it would have been really hard otherwise. So, yeah, that's one of my other hobbies. So, yeah, dead chuffed with that. And that's pretty much it. There's, what, 3 weeks-ish? 2.5 weeks? What is it? It's on May 12th. May 12th, Golden Demon. So yeah, it's about 3 weeks to go, and I have to get these done. So I'm actually taking some time out of my work schedule in order to try and get these finished. Because I've got to do the bases as well, and the faces. All of the backpacks are pretty much done. Backpacks came out right nice. Look at that. Gorgeous. I'm dead chuffed with those. Dead chuffed with a lot of things. I'm thinking of doing digital camo on the Eliminators cloaks. I'm gonna have a try at that. But yeah, I need to get these finished, which means I basically need to finish at least one a week. Some of them will be easier than others. For example, the Sergeant is got very little that needs doing left on him. You know, I've got to paint his little honours and his relic. Is that a relic? I think that's a relic. On there, but the rest of it is done. And that's fine, because there's a shoulder pad supposed to be there. His arm came off, which was annoying. Where's it gone? It's around somewhere. There it is. Yeah, this arm came off. So, don't worry. He said to myself. See, you can't see it. It's fine. It's all good. So, yeah, this guy's not far from being done. And where's the other one? There's it. And the Lieutenant. So these two are doing pretty well. And I need to do the belt buckle on the Lieutenant and his little knife and pouches and auspex that go on the back of him. But otherwise, it's slightly different. I need to fix this back here. But for the most part, they're looking pretty good. Oh, I need to paint that skull. But I'm doing the metallics at the end. So, these aren't not supposed to be non-metallic, these are just supposed to be kind of plastic material that's got a little bit of a shine on it. So yeah, I'm doing the metallics at the end after I've done the matte coat. The final matte coat. So this iconography on his leg here, I'm doing that in a kind of brassy colour, I think, because if I did the laurels in green, it would not stand out well against his leg. I also need to do all of the decals, and I'm basically waiting until I've done everything that needs to be matte coated, right? So all of the painting before the metallics done, that's not weathering, then gloss coat them so I can put the decals on. Then once the decals are on and all sorted out, matte coat all of that, then do the weathering, then matte coat that, then do the metallics. That's the process. So there's like 3 extra layers of varnish going on. But yeah, these two guys are the furthest along. I could do with lightening up this guy's Aquila in comparison. Mostly the skull. Yeah, so that's not much to do. But I've also got to do some heads. Heads don't take long. Heads take me about half an hour to an hour each. So it's It's like a one-day job for doing heads, assuming I don't screw them up, and I often screw them up. So there's that. But that's it. Yeah, Golden Demon soon. Sorry about the lack of updates, and if you're on Patreon, sorry that I've not gotten round to doing the Eyes of the Nine or the Space Marines that I said I was going to do, but yeah, that pension over my shoulders completely screwed my schedule, and I feel awful about that, but I will get back on track. So there we go, thank you for watching, and subscribe. Oh, I forgot to mention this, I'm backing a Kickstarter for the Artist Opus dry brushes. It's £49 for a set, and the only reason I'm doing this is because Bohun, if you know who Bohun is, then good, but he is a very excellent miniature painter that pretty much exclusively uses dry brushing for the vast majority of his work, and he's like fully endorsing these brushes, saying they're amazing. And my current dry brushes are Games Workshop dry brushes. In fact, here's one like this, and these are crap, to be honest. I mean, they get the job done, but they're not great. These Artist Opus dry brushes are round, they've got kind of a domed tip, and they look really nice, so I'm backing that Kickstarter. They won't think it's only October shipping dates left. Last time I looked, there were going to be 2 waves, one in September, one in October. I'm on the October shipping date, so I won't be getting those until then. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to that Kickstarter, because I figure you might want to know about them, because they're probably going to show up on the channel around October time, hopefully, assuming that they ship them on time. And they shipped the last set of paintbrushes they did on time. So yeah, and if they are as good as they seem, they're just going to become my go-to dry brushes. So if you want to get ahead of the curve, link in the description, check it out. And yeah, that's it. I don't normally recommend Artist Opus brushes because they usually seem to me to be overpriced, but no one else is really making brushes specifically for dry brushing, and that's a technique I use a lot, and will certainly use even more if I have good brushes for it. So yeah, it's the only reason I'm backing that. I normally wouldn't recommend them, but I want to see what they're like. So yeah, that's the thing, go check that out. And I've got some purchases from some other stores coming soon that are Sons of the Phoenix Space Marine chapter related. I'm waiting for those to arrive from Poland at the moment. Some bits for that, and you'll see them soon. So keep an eye out for that. I'll do a review and also a how to convert Sons of the Phoenix Space Marine once they arrive. So yeah, so there's some good stuff coming up on the channel. It's not dead. I ain't dead yet. Right, definitely over this time. Yeah, subscribe, click the like button and all that good stuff. And thanks for, hanging out. Bye now.